Last week, I helped an MSP generate over 100 leads at an expo. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do after you collect those leads and how to turn them into real deals. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow. We are going to teach you how to sell to your dream customers. We're going to teach you how to bring in an unlimited number of leads, and we are going to teach you how to operate and help you operate your business effectively. If you'd like to learn more, head over to growth-generators.com. And if you want to grab any of our free resources that are, once again, completely free, as I said it there, free resources, the blog, the Discord, the events area where we actually have an event coming up just this week at May 13th here. But you can get notified about future events. You can go grab any of our resources or join the Discord with well over 1,200 people. There will be links for all of this down in the video description down below. So let's talk about what we did to set up for success, right? Because truthfully, yes, we're going to go close 100 leads, but we have to talk about what we did to get to that. Now, one of you guys watching on the other side of this camera was like, hey, we want to bring you up to Toronto and we want to have you help us with an expo. So what do we do, right? I went there and I helped out, and people typically know from the YouTube, hey, I can help out in certain areas. But there was a couple of things that we did that worked very, very well. One, you got to be super friendly, super outgoing, and you have to be willing to go up to people and just get rejected. Hey, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? You have to say hi. The second thing that we did is we had things that would get people interested. So that is freebies, that is motion pictures, but more importantly, QR codes. Now, in this case, they had badge scanners and we could scan them, but we had a bunch of other information talking about what we did and how we could help them, right? Because at the end of the day, our customers, our dream customers, we're all selfish, right? They are too. They're no exception to that. We have to make sure that we're getting we're getting into their brains and saying, how can we help them? They want help, but we have to make sure that we position ourselves as the people to actually help them. And we had to build out systems for this, and I recommend you doing this before this, where you have an email system set up or an SMS system set up, and you should be tracking all of these leads in your CRM. Now, you guys probably already know that I love Go High Level, and I will put my affiliate link down below because it is truly what I use every single day to build my business. But whatever system that you like, if you like Go High Level, fantastic. This is kind of the all-in-one platform. There's plenty of other ones out there. You have HubSpot. I'm not really a fan of Salesforce, but you have Salesforce, ActiveCampaign, Keep. The list goes on and on and on. But if you could get a lot of this set up beforehand, you're doing a fantastic job. Now, in some cases you can't. You're going to walk out with hopefully a stack of information in this case, business cards, right? But hopefully you're going to get a bunch of those leads. And then the work starts immediately. Now, setting up for a convention, setting up for an event, even if it's a small business expo, is a ton of work. But the work's just starting. That's the physically hard work. Now the hard work of closing the deal and following up with people then comes into play for the second part of this whole phase, right? We set up, we got everything, we got the scans, we got people's business cards, we got people interested. Now we have to take it and run with it as fast as we can. And this is where the juicy, juicy details are going to come in. But first, if you could hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and hey, if you want to just leave a comment saying, Harrison, I hope one day you're going to grow hair or something funny like that, feel free. Or hey, maybe you even learned something. Either way, I appreciate it. So as soon as the event is over, is when the real work starts. Now, typically, I like to do a email almost as soon as I possibly can. Usually within 24 business hours, right? So if it ends on a Friday, typically that Monday. If it's, the next business day, if it ends on a Saturday, Monday. Ends on a Sunday, you might need a day to decompress. Let's call it Tuesday, right? So you should have an email ready for part of your list. Now, speaking to these people, you should have sections. You should have a highly, hot lead, a warm lead, and then just general lead, right? Those are going to be your real three areas. Hot leads, they were excited when they talked to you. You should have somebody interested at, in this case, I spoke to 100 plus different people. There was about 20 to 30 very hot leads. People that are like, I don't like my current system. I don't like my current MSP. I'm looking to change. Fantastic. The warm leads, you know what? I'm kind of unhappy. They do an okay job. They don't, you know what? They don't really stink all that much, but they don't really wow me with their service. Okay, that's fine. That's a warm lead. And then everyone else is going to be just a cold lead, right? Somebody that you spoke to at some point in the entire process, and that's totally fine too. Those first 24 hours, you need to get out an email to as many of those people as possible that are not the hot leads. The hot leads get a very specific, highly personalized email. The warm leads and the cold leads, hey, thank you so much for visiting our booth. We're working on reaching out to everybody, right? Depending on what it is, if you're at a small business expo, but you have to come up with something. And also, don't forget to provide value here. They might not remember who you are. They went out partying, you went out partying, they got super busy. Currently, there was a 2-day gap. Mother's Day happened, right? Things happen. Life happens, right? We have to make sure that we understand that. We have to come in and provide more value. Checklists, guides, video recap, hopefully a video recap of your booth. If you could just take your phone out and take a nice little video recap of the whole thing, those are going to be huge for you. Now, after that first 24 hours, setting out that email to the majority, if not everyone on that list, day 2 and day 3 is when the real work starts to happen, right? They are super interested. They're probably just as fired up as you are. They just came back from a show. Their mind is in a million different places. You just came back from the show. Your mind is in a bunch of different places. But you need to start building out a system that you can follow. That should be a cold call, right? Because you're calling them. Yes, it's a warm call, but they're not expecting your call. You have to go out. You have to start getting on the phone and calling those people, starting with the hot people, working your way to warm. And then you could go through the cold emails, the cold people at some point and just say, hey, who's worth it? Who's not worth it? But you need to go through this. Pro tip, you can set up a lead scoring system inside of Go High Level, and you could flag them as or give them a certain number of points in here. There's actually called scoring. So if you met them at the booth and they were interested, maybe you could start them off with 10 points to know, hey, they're very, very interested, all the way down to 1 point because you met them at a convention, right? Lead scoring does very much work, but you have to make sure that you're willing to pick up the phone, start making phone calls, and also start sending really good emails. Not just, hey, it was great to see you at the show. Days 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe not an email every day, but you have to start saying, hey, it was so good to see you. Let's touch base, whatever it is. You have to give them something that they can start to sink their teeth into. After that, obviously, while we're calling these people, we want to start booking appointments as fast as possible. Now, I like a multi-touch approach, right? Sometimes they're going to remember you, sometimes they're not going to remember you. And this is why it's important to maybe give a little recap, some value. But don't just send them an email, right? Don't just make a phone call. Send them a text if it's appropriate. Send them a LinkedIn connection if it's appropriate. These are all super viable. Now, some of those people aren't going to accept the LinkedIn request. Totally fine. Some of those people are going to put in their business numbers. Totally fine. But calling every single one of them and sending an email is the bare minimum that you have to do to start to succeed. And then give them the opportunity to book time on your calendar. Now, once again, shout out to Go High Level because I use this all the time. But you can set up a calendar link in Go High Level where people can just jump in, grab time on your calendar. If you don't have that, Calendly, HubSpot, one of those. But give them the opportunity to book time on your calendar. Make sure that you are going in a non-salesy, non-pushy way. It's a consultation. Just like in this case, they were dentists. They have a consultation for their patients. You have a consultation with the doctor to go over either an audit or a review of their system, whatever it may be. But you need to get on the phone and start calling. How often should you call? Once every other day, once every 3 days maybe, just to give it enough time. You don't want to be pushy, but you want to follow up, especially the hot ones that were like, hey, I spoke to people on a Friday saying, call me Monday. If they don't answer the phone on Monday, I'm calling them on Tuesday and Wednesday. They told me to call. I would be doing them a disservice by not following up with them. They told me to call. The warm ones, you could stretch it out, twice a week, and then from there, slow it down a little bit as time goes on. Now, we're going to want to close these deals, and I want you to walk away with actionable insights. And hopefully, you've been getting a ton of value throughout this video already. But we have to close the deals. Without that, there's no monthly recurring revenue, and we're all going to be less happy about that. So let's close the deal. We want to make sure that we identify the pain points. Now, hopefully, you've taken some notes when you were having conversations with them. In many cases, conferences will have a little QR thing. You can scan with other attendees and say, hey, you can put in notes. Hey, so-and-so, whatever it is. I usually use voice, put in my notes, and then continue on with my day, just so I know exactly what I was saying. But you want to personalize those follow-ups so you can move closer and closer to a sale. And you want to bring that stuff up as you're talking to them. Offer a simple proposal for them, right? As you're having that conversation. If you have a show deal, give them the show deal. If you don't have a show deal, hey, these are the 2 to 3 options people in your industry, XYZ industry, typically pick, right? And you have to make sure that you let them know that you are different than everyone else. I know that you're different than everyone else, but they don't know. They just assume because you work in technology and somebody else works in technology, we all do the same job. That could not be further from the truth. We have to make sure that we let them know that we're using the best tech stack that's most viable for them, that we have the best team, and sending them social proof, whether that's testimonials, case studies, or anything else that would help show them that we are the best, right? That is truly the goal. And then after you do all this, you follow up, you give them super easy options, you follow a great sales process that we provide, or you can literally go grab on the growth-generators.com/resources and go down to the free battle card. It comes with the entire sales process. You could literally steal it. I make it super simple for you, but go grab that process. And then last but not least, right? You're not going to close 100 of those leads, although it'd be nice. You're going to close a certain percentage of them, hopefully in the next 30, 60, 90 days. And maybe some of them will take a year to close, and that's totally fine as well. But we have to use data on our side. Track which follow-up methods worked best. Make sure you put in there cold call, whatever it is, however you decided to follow up. Go High Level is a fantastic resource for all of that. You can use whatever CRM that you'd like. It's just my personal preference. After that, see which persona responded most. Was it the owners? In this case, was it the dentists? Was it the office managers? Was it XYZ person? Was it the dental hygienists who just hate using the computers at the office? It's important to understand that. Just because they're not the decision maker of the business does not mean that they're not going to go complain over and over and over again to hopefully get you in. It's worked. I have talked to the furthest person from a decision maker possible. But the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And in this case, if they complain enough that the technology is not working the way it's supposed to, they will eventually decide to make something change. Hopefully, you are the change at the end of the entire thing. But you have to go through, track the data, see what's working best, A/B test your emails, see which ones. Yeah, it's a small sample size, maybe 100 leads. But that's totally fine. That is more than enough to get the ball rolling. And then as time goes on, if you go back to that convention year after year after year, you're going to see some similar faces or some of the same faces. You're going to see a bunch of new faces, and you're going to have even more data to make better decisions going through and going down the road. I hope you guys found some value in this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. But please, if you're watching this, don't let leads go cold, right? The fortune is in the follow-up, right? The sale is in the follow-up. Who calls them the most, right? It might take 7, 10, 15, 20 phone calls. Yes, is that a lot of phone calls? Of course it is. Are you going to be smiling all the way to the bank with $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month deal? Absolutely, right? It is well worth putting in the time and the energy and effort to bring somebody on for, let's say, $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year, and you're going to have them for 7 to 20 years. Do not let your leads get cold. You should be calling them all the way for about 6 months, 6 to 9 months, and then 3 months before that conference starts, you should just say, hey, we're super excited. You should come by, maybe not 3 months, maybe 1 to 2 months before that next convention comes around. Let them know that you're going to be there, to stop by the booth, to come say hi, and let them see what else you've changed over the last year. I promise you it works. I've helped so many businesses just with booths and just with going out there and bringing in leads and following up those leads. But you have to follow up with it. The fortune is in the follow up. I love you guys as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video.